Have you ever sat down to play a song and found yourself completely lost, struggling to figure out what comes next? If you have been in this situation before, you are not alone. Every musician at some point faces the same challenges of decoding chord progressions quickly. But what if I told you there is a way to instantly recognize the chord patterns of almost any song? You heard me right. Being able to quickly identify the chord progression of a song is one of the most powerful skills a musician can develop. It is what actually separates an average player from a confident one, someone who can jump into any song and play effortlessly. When you know the structure of the chords you are playing, everything else falls in place. The melody, the rhythm, and even the feel. But here's the thing. Most people think you need years of training to figure out progressions, but what I'm about to tell you will shock you. It's actually very, very simple. There are faster ways to unlock the secret code to any song progressions. And in this video, I will show you proven techniques that will cut down the time it takes to figure out a chord progression and get you playing confidently in minutes. Chord progression is a sequence of chords played in succession. It serves as a harmonic foundation of a piece of music, creating the structure that supports the melody and gives the song its emotional character. There are two ways we can use to find the progression of a song. The first method is diatonic harmony, and then the second method is the circle of fourth. In this lesson, we will go through all of them. Now let's dive quickly into the first way, the first method. It's very, very, very simple. It's called diatonic harmony. This is simply the way chords are built using only the notes from a specific key or scale. So for example, if you are in the key of C major, the diatonic harmony means that you are only using the notes in that key major scale, which is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C to make your chords. So every scale has certain chords that fits naturally into them. So in the key of C, the main diatonic chords are major chords, C, F, and G. Minor chords, D minor, E minor, and A minor, and then one diminished chord. Right, so what I did was I just played all of them in chords. That's do, re, mi, fa, so, la, si, and then do. Right, we have three major chords, C, F, G, three minor chords, D minor, E minor, A minor, and one diminished chord, which is B diminished. So all these chords come from the notes of the C major scale. So when you are playing in C, the diatonic harmony just means that you are only going to use only these chords, which naturally belongs to the key of C, right? So it will help you create music that sounds smooth and, most importantly, predictable, because all these chords are based on the same set of notes from the key you are in. There are actually rules about these diatonic chords and these harmonies. And these rules will tell us how these chords function and how they relate with each other. We are going to use it to help us find the progression of a song easier and faster. And it's very easy to understand. We have 8 notes, 8 chords in a diatonic scale, which I've already spoken about: C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. We will use the C scale as an example. Let's bring our circle of fourth diagram, right? This is the circle of fourth diagram. Whatever chord you place at 12 o'clock is called the tonic. That's the key you are in. Always set the key you are in at 12 o'clock, right? Now, when you move to the right of the circle, you have what's called the circle of fourth. So from C to F is a fourth, from F to B flat, from F to B flat is a fourth, right? So because when you have the key of F, this is the scale. If you do not know what circle of fourth is, I have a video about it. You can go check it out. So F and B flat, right, is a fourth, right? So when you take all the fourth in all the keys, B flat, the fourth of B flat is E flat. So when you take all these fourth and you arrange them around the circle, we'll call it what? The circle of fourth. Now, when you go to the left of the same circle, you are dealing with the circle of fifth. So for example, C to G is a fifth, G to D is a fifth, and so on and so forth. So whatever chord you position at 12 o'clock is always chord number 1 for that key. If you want to play in the key of F, you would place F at 12 o'clock. That's why it's called a circle, right? You can physically rotate it to line things up. If you've drawn this out on paper, obviously you can't rotate it. That's why having a movable circle, you can cut out a circle and draw the circle of fifth on it, and then you can rotate it around, which is going to be very helpful to you. Now, the 3 major chords on your circle, right, if you are in the key of C, are 1 to the right and then 1 to the left. These are the 3 major chords in that scale. Now, here's something fun. Remember that cheer in senior high school, right? Those of us who like playing basketball, you would have the cheerleader cheering us on, saying something like lean to the left, lean to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. That's how you find the major chords in a song. So once you identify the tonic, which is the key, you just lean to the left and you lean to the right, right? Those chords are your major chords. That's why those are usually the first chords you would ever learn. Not because they are the easiest, but because they are in the easiest key, the key of C. The key of C is usually referred to as the people's key. So far, so good. Now, if I asked you to play a song in the key of G, what are the major chords? They are G, C, and D. And remember, always go to the left first because that is where the dominant chord is. In the key of C, G is the next most important chord, the dominant, and then F is the subdominant. So diatonic chords works like this. Chord number 1 can go anywhere. It is said that the second chord is often the trickiest to find out, but once you have found it, the pattern tends to flow more easily, right? Chord number 2 usually moves to number 5, which is often has a 7th on it. So what's chord number 2 in the key of C? Is D minor. Let's mark it as a minor chord, D minor. What does D minor move to? It goes to G 7th. Now the chord number 3, E minor. E minor will lead to chord number 6, which is A minor. What about chord number 4? Chord number 4 typically resolves back to the 1 or sometimes a dominant 7th. If you choose the wrong chord, it's no big deal. It will still sound fine. What about chord number 5? Chord number 5 often resolves back to the 1. And chord number 6 moves to chord number 2. So here's how the logic works. If the first chord of your song is C, let's say you pick chord number 6 next. That's a minor chord, A minor. Then the rule tells us that chord number 6 leads us to chord number 2, which is the D minor. And then the rule also tells us that D minor, which is chord number 2, will move to chord number 5, right? And where would the 5 go? The 5 will go back to 1. So that will probably be the whole song, right? So the diatonic harmony rules tells us that chord number 1 can move to the 4, the 5, or virtually anywhere. Chord number 2 always moves to 5. Chord number 3 always moves to chord number 6. Chord number 5 always moves to the 5 or the 1. Chord number 6 moves to the 2. Chord number 7 moves to the 3 or the 1. So now you would be asking, hey Alex, so how do I figure out the second chord in the progression? I will teach you that as well. Now, to find the second chord, you need to listen to the melody of the song. The notes of the melody fits in any respective chord. So once you are able to identify the melody of the notes, you can determine which chord in the major scale has that note. That will help you select the second chord to use. So let's use the song, Let His Banner Be Raised. Right. So the notes for banner, this, let his banner, the note for banner is fa. So in the major scale, we have 3 chords that contain fa. Which chords are they? The second chord has fa, which is the re chord. The fourth, the fa chord, also has fa, and even the 7th has which is the T chord, has fa. Now amongst these, only 2 make sense, right? Only 2 make sense. Listen, I'll play the chord with my left hand, right? This fits, isn't it? Okay, let's take the 4th. This also sounds good, right? Let's take the 3rd chord. Right? This doesn't really sound okay. Right? So the most suitable chords is the 2 and then the 4. Now, you can choose to go any of these direction. You can choose to go with the 2 or the 4. Right. So this technique has actually helped me find the second chord in the progression. Now, after I find the second chord in the progression, I can quickly call, or I can quickly rely on the diatonic harmony rule. So if I should choose my 2, diatonic harmony rule tells me that from 2 I have to move to where? The 5. Right, let's test it. Have you seen that? Okay, now my diatonic harmony says that my 5 moves to where? My 5 moves to 1. Have you seen it? Now my diatonic harmony says that my 1 can move to my 4, my 5, or my chord number 1 can move anywhere. right? Okay, so C, second chord, third chord, fourth chord, right? This chord from my 1, I can move to my 6, it will still fit. I can move to my 4th to still fit. See. Everything. Now, if I choose to go here, my diatonic harmony will tell me that my 4 will move towards my 5. See? Then from my 5 to my 1. So you see how simple it is. You can apply this to any song at all to find the progression. Let's take another song. I give myself away. Now let's find the second chord. The melody line is I give myself. Right? That's the first chord. Our second chord is this, which is our re. Right? So in the diatonic scale, which of the chords have a re in them? Our re chord has a re. Our 5 chord has a re, which is a D, and our 7th chord has a re in it. Right. So now I can choose to select any of them. In this instance, all of them actually sounds okay. Let's see. This one sounds okay, but not the best. Let's try the soul. We're going to choose a 5. Right, this also sounds better than the second chord. Now let's choose the T chord and C. Okay. Right. So in this instance, my 5 chord and my 7 chord sounds best. So I can choose any of them and that would be okay. Alright, so let's continue. That's my 5. Right, my diatonic harmony rule tells me that my 5 moves where? To the 1. You see. So let's go. 1 chord, 2 chord, 1 chord, right? My diatonic harmonic rule tells me that my 1 can move anywhere, right? So you can actually move anywhere. You can move to the far, you can move to the 6. It will still fit. So let's take it from the top. Then back to the 1. Did you see it? Right. So assuming I decided to use the 7th as my second chord in the progression, My diatonic harmony rule tells me that my 7 moves to my third, which is the mi, or my 1. So 7 moves to 3 or 1. Okay. You see. Then from here, my diatonic harmony tells me that my 3 moves to my 6. You see. So let's continue. You see. So when you follow these rules, you can pretty much maneuver your way through the progression of any song at all. If you like, try it. I challenge you to just take any song and try it and see, and give me feedback. All right. Now that you have the tools to quickly identify chord progressions, it's time to put that knowledge into action. In our next video, we would learn about 7 common chord progressions that you can use in your playing. These progressions are the building blocks of countless songs, especially in gospel music. So mastering them will help you gain a rich ability to create engaging musical experience in any worship section you find yourself in, any jam session, or even your practical personal time session. So don't miss out on that lesson. Join me in that lesson so that we unlock this power of these essential chords.